Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So, as usual, Danish, doa. Dengar, Danish okay? Baca doa. Kalau Danish tak ni ready, maybe ada ni kan. Adam, baca doa Adam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wa anshur alaina min huzaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah lana sudurana wa yassir lana umurana wa hlul min ala sadatina yafqahu aqwalana. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir ya karim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you. So as usual, for a quick recap, today we're going to look at few questions, just multiple choice question on foreign currency transaction here, and then we are going to continue today with the statement of cash flows. And we're going to have like a few questions. Then next week, going to start back the physical meeting. So we finalize the statement of cash flow, 1 or 2 questions, and then we continue to the other chapters the next day. Okay. Then the revision kit related to your foreign currency transaction. Okay. So as usual, when we come back later on, so I'm going to test your knowledge based on the accounting standard that we discussed during the online session and the accounting standard that we already covered previously, inshallah. Hold on, too many notifications on the laptop. First question, 183, I suppose. At what amount will be the receivable be shown in the financial statement at 31st December year 6? And the nearest whole dollar, so the whole amount, yeah? So staple cheese, it doesn't matter. Sold machine with a Greek company with a Greek invoice in euro. So the sale was made on 1st October year 6 for 250,000 euro. 125,000 euro was received on 1st November year 6, and the balance is due on 1st January year 7. So basically, in this case, the statement is not complete actually, because normally, when the company sold machine, and the seller normally will hold the functional currency, to a Greek company with agreed to invoice in euro. When it comes to this one, agreed to invoice in euro, so we can, it is not assumption, we can determine that, or trigger in this case, it will be settled in euro. So even though the company, Steeplechase is the seller, so Steeplechase agree this asset to be settled in euro, meaning that in this case, Steeplechase are the one who are going to record the gain, exchange gain or loss related to the payment made by the Greek company in euro. Okay. Like I said, normally when you are the seller, they say you sold the items at $100,000, for example, and to foreign entity, to euro, for example. So no matter what, normally, so you want it be settled in $100,000, like we discussed yesterday, like ACCA UK, when they charge you £50, yes, Great Britain pound, and then whatever it is, whatever currency they wanted you to settle based on the pound sterling. It doesn't matter what will be the currency rate in ringgit Malaysia. Okay. It also can be determined, for example, if ACCA UK agree, for instance, at first £50 equivalent to 250 ringgit, for example. And then the company in UK agreed for the ACCA fee to be settled in ringgit Malaysia, 250 ringgit. So meaning that whatever it is, you will pay 250 ringgit. Of course, it will, and when it is converted into UK pound, it's not going to be $50 anymore. It's going to be based on the currency rate at that time. It may be less than $50 or it may be higher than $50. Similar to this one. Yeah, even though Steeplechase is a seller, yeah, but they agree that this invoice to be settled in euro. So meaning that Steeplechase are the one who are going to record the gain or loss on disposal. Yeah, sorry, gain or loss on the exchange rate. Mana pergi disposal. So first October year 6 at the date of purchase on first $1 equal to 0.91. Okay, so 250,000 euro. What will be the double entry here? I go for volunteer first. You can dekat chat room pun okay. To everyone, or you want to DM pun okay. Tak ramai hari ni. 7 orang je. Mana pergi yang lain? Ada kenduri kot. So one of your friend gave me the double entry first. Debit receivable for sure. When you make the sales, debit receivable, and then 250,000 euro. Yes, some of you may multiply with 0.91, and some of you may divide by 0.91. Okay, we check again. Yeah, if $1 equal to 0.91 euro. So this is different from yesterday because no matter what, yeah, when you convert later on, the amount in dollar sign will be higher than the amount in the euro, yeah, euro currency. So when you multiply, for sure 250,000 euro, when you multiply, it's going to be lower than the dollar. Yeah, it's going to be like it's going to be higher. Contohnya kita tengok kat sini ya. Kita check. Tak cukup. Matahari saya punya kalkulator ni. Pakai kalkulator handphone. 250,000 multiply with 0.91, so it will be 227. So as you can see here, the amount is not the sign, the higher or lower sign is not consistent when it is multiplied with 0.91. And then your friends give the right amount actually when you divide it by 0.91, then you're going to get 274,725. So the amount of 274,725 are also higher than the euro amount, similar with the fraction in currency. So betul lah tu. Ingat ya, macam semalam saya cakap, dia nampak macam simple. Memang betul lah kalau setiap $1, if you want to convert 0.91 ke higher than that, you will divide them. And then again, like I said, why you need to have some sort of basis, just in case when you get confused during the final exam. When you need to bring the whole accounting standard, the whole knowledge in the final exam, dah banyak masa tu kan? Sometimes we tend to get confused. sekarang ni kita just focus on the one thing, normally it will not an issue. When you come to later stage, ya, bila ada banyak nanti dia punya transaction, benda-benda macam ni kadang-kadang kita terlupa. You confused, nak bagi ke nak darab? Bagi darab, and then you check this simple technique. Yeah, based on this simple technique. So in this case, correct, your friends divided by 0.91. So I will delete this one, and it will give the amount of 274725. So credit sales or revenue 274725. Okay, and then they say that 125,000 was received on 1st November year 6, meaning that this is still within the accounting period. Half of the amount was received by the company. So 125,000. What you need to do is that, but what will be the double entry then? Kalau time payment paling mudah sekali double entry. Anyone want to give the answer? Kita buat kat sini je lah, tak perlu dekat separate template . So I can tak perlu delete. Boleh lah, delete this one. Nanti you tengok the video recording kan, so dapatkan dia balik. So when it is paid by your client, meaning that you are going to debit cash amount, alright, which is based on the rate, on the spot rate, or the rate when the payment was made, 125,000 euro divided by 0.95. So this is the amount cash received by the company. So 125 divided by 0.95, 13,158. 13157 131,579, check. Okay, and then when you credit receivable, you're not going to credit the same amount, because previously this 125,000 was you close at 0.91, so you will credit this one. 125,000 divided 0.91. So 137,363. So you don't have to worry about the nearest whole dollar. So nanti selalunya examiner akan aware lah. Ya, 1 or 2, sebab ada yang ini you kena based on the decimal point tu. Macam biasalah, if it's higher than 5, so you tambah je dah 1. Okay, and then the balance you're going to debit exchange loss in the profit or loss. The important here will be your receivable balance, but it is fine. Yeah, exchange loss in the profit or loss, you're going to get 137,363 minus 131,579. So 5,783. So this is your second transaction, and this one is on 1st November year 6. Okay. At the same time, because this is half of the payment, you need to take into account that this 137,363, nampak tak, dia tak konsisten, yang ni 275 kan? Dia 275. Cuba tengok betul-betul. 250,000 divided by 0.91. Betul. 274,725. Yes, 725. Maksudnya bila yang ini yang hujung ni, maksud I, this decimal point yang dekat 3 ni. Kalau dia 7 to 6, dia mudah. Dia 7,363. So maksudnya bila kita tolak half nanti, dia akan jadi issue. But it's okay. Yang itu decimal point, saya cakap, during the exam, examiner will be more aware about the the amount or the decimal point. Then masa year end, 31st December year 6, bila you dah credit this 137,363, meaning that the amount dah tinggal half, either 137,362 ataupun you maintain 137,363 sebab dia half 50, because it is a 50% of the amount kan, tapi dia akan ada decimal point yang terlebih lah, terlebih $1, ya, terlebih $1, but it doesn't matter. Yang itu nanti kita betulkan kemudian je. So my advice previously, when it comes to the year end, yeah, you can start with balance brought down. It doesn't matter, yeah. Ataupun you dah tahu ni soalan untuk what we call that? Dia dah mudah dah. What will be the final ni to respond to this one? Receivable balance. Kita tak perlu cari exchange gain or loss pun. How to get the final balance receivable? Balance dah tentu dah tinggal €1 1 to 5 kan, because they have paid 1 to 5. Betul? Terus bahagi dengan 0.85. So 1 to 5,000 yang separuh lagi belum bayar, you divide by 0.85, then you get 147,059. Okay. Right? 147,059. So inilah benda ni, it is a simple, if you understand enough, yeah, you akan work based on euros, but you nak receivable balance at the year end. So you know that 250,000 half already paid. Maksudnya balance left at the year end will be 125,000. So terus bagi dengan the final spot rate ataupun the year end rate untuk dollar to euro. Yeah, so you don't have to think further. But normally when doing questions, I would rather discuss in full, meaning that not just for us to answer this question, yeah, it is also for us to see the movement. Yeah, for example, this one, kalau before you reach to 147,059, you ada broke down of, let's say, 1st October year 6, you have 274,725, and then you have cash payment of 137,363. Okay, and then I can delete this one. So half of the balance has been paid. Yeah, this is not, yeah, this is considered cash lah, tapi dia lebih lagi kan, cash dia based on 0.95. Yang ini masih lagi based on 0.91. You tak boleh tolak different currency rate. This one dia jadi 147,059. Lepas tu ada exchange. Yang kat sini, you akan ada exchange, gain or loss. Kalau you nak buat balance dulu kat sini boleh juga. Kita buat je 137,362, tak ada masalah. Yeah. So exchange will be 147,059 minus 137,362. 96. Okay, gain or loss? Ada yang cakap loss. Yang lain, ini yang nak semua jawab. Bagi meriah sikit, come on. Gain, dah bergaduh pula dah dua orang ni, seorang gain, seorang loss. Tak tahu siapa yang betul. Ini lain, ada Madlina. Madlina loss. Oh, ramai gain ni. Gain. Kita ambil yang ramai je lah. Ada loss, ada gain. Oh. Ingat tak apa yang cakap? First, you nak tengok ni account payable atau account receivable. So, ni account payable or receivable? Anak-anak, this is receivable account. Receivable increase. Maksudnya increase lah, this one. Buat tanda ni pula. And receivable increase from 137 to 147. Gain or loss? Yes. Gain maksudnya. Ya, kalau account payable increase, simple je. Kalau let's say supposedly previously you have recorded if the Greek company want to pay, you akan dapat 137, but because of the exchange rate, the 0.85, then Greek company need to pay more to you. So it is a gain lah. Then you dapat banyak lagi cash. Kan 147 instead of 137. Yeah, increase in receivable, it will be exchange gain, profit or loss. Okay, kalau payable account, the same amount, payable account, then it will be exchange loss. Itu penting. But we have answered this question. We have meeting our objective. Cuma macam cakap lah, baik kita discuss semua terus. Using pull down list option provided, select which exchange rate should non-monetary item carried at historical cost be measured. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, B, C, D. Which one? 3. C. Yeah, semua option number 3. Rate at the date of transaction, correct. So meaning that it will be spot rate at the date of the transaction, in not for non-monetary item is not going to be remeasured. So betul lah tu. So we just take 3 question. Yang ini lebih kurang sama je macam yang atas. Buy, yang ini payable, yang ini macam mana? Kita ambil yang last related to the apa ni, revaluation. InsyaAllah kita tengok ni ya. What is the carrying amount of the factory for inclusion in the financial statement of Coppola at 31st December year 6? So Coppola has a factory carrying amount 1.8 million at 30th November year 6. Agree factory now. Ini tak ada kena dengan foreign. Ya, ini changes in accounting estimate kan. I ingat revaluation yang asset carried at fair value. So kita buatlah 185. Tak nak bercampur aduk kan. So 185, yang ini kita cepat sikit. What is the net exchange gain or loss? Kadang-kadang cepat sikit itulah yang akan ada careless kan. To be reported in the financial statement of Mr. So now they want the net exchange gain or loss. If it's within the accounting period, and exchange gain or loss will be compensated against each other. So dia bukannya just one off amount, it is a cumulative figure lah kan. Dia akan kontra balik. Mr. Company buy goods price 50,000 euro from Dutch company on 1st November year 8. The invoice is due for settlement in 2 equal installments on 1st December year 8 and 1st January year 9. So meaning that still half of the items are not what we call that, are not going to be paid, and then the other half will be in the statement of financial. The other half will be paid, and the other half will be in the statement of financial position. But in this question, the question requires you to calculate net exchange gain or loss. Okay. So first payable, 1st November year 8. So you have payable 50,000 divided by 1.63. $36.75. Ya, kalau ada careless terus bagi tahu 36.75. Okay, 1st December dia bayar. Buat kecil je lah kat sini. Credit cash, debit will be half of it. Debit payable, half of it, 50,000. Sorry, half of it, 25,000. Ini tak tanya, kita buat sekali je. Multiply 1.63 and divide by 1.63. But the credit cash, 25,000, dia bayar 1.61. $15,578. Okay, yang ini 25,000. $15,337. So debit exchange loss. Kalau salah terus bagi tahu dekat ni dekat group. Dia just interrupt je dekat chat room tu atau boleh unmute dulu. 15,578 minus 15,337 241. So ada exchange loss first 241. And then at the year end sama macam tadi juga, half of the balance masih lagi ada, okay. Tapi masih lagi macam tak match kan dia punya ni 15,337 tu, okay. Tapi financial year end, balance carried down yang buat dekat sini, dia at 25,000. 25,000 divided by 1.64. $15,244. Okay, kita ambil yang ini je lah, yang half dia kan. So dia punya broke down balance lepas bayar tu tinggal half 15,337. So dia ada 15,337 tolak 15,244. So 93. So this is exchange gain or loss. This is account payable. Bila payable reduce, they will be exchange gain. All right. So supposedly the net gain or loss to there will be net loss of 241 loss tadi kan, tolak 93 gain. Ni loss, this one gain. So loss higher than gain. So 148 loss. Okay. 15,161 tu berapa? 15,527. Oh, I tersalah time tadi. Okay, kita betulkan balik 25,000 divided by 1.61. 15,527 betul. I buat 5 to 8 lah kan? 5 to 8. Sebab dia 7.9. Dekat this one, dia ada 7.9. So ambil 5 to 8 lah. So maksudnya yang ini dia gain jugalah. Sebab double entry dia. So cakap kalau misalnya computation, you kena check balik. Kadang-kadang I pun salah type lah tadi. Sepatutnya 5 to 8. I tulis 578. Ini 337. So will be on the credit side, exchange gain. Tolak 15,337. So 191. So maksudnya 191 tambah. Yang ni tak kacau kan? 191 plus gain plus 93 gain. 191 loss Kenapa loss pula?
Loss cancel.
Kan dekat credit side tu. Kalau debit side loss lah. Kalau credit side gain. Kan? Ini 5 to 8. Ini 15, 5 to 8. Ini 50. Apalah ini. Debit side lah. 5 tu kan lagi besar daripada 3. Sorry. Debit loss. 191. I pergi fokus dekat 28 tu sahaja. So 191 loss and 93 gain. Alright. So 98 loss. Ada argument lagi? Or any questions so far? Okay, good. So as usual, and the focus will make a difference in terms of your and the answer kan. Macam cakap lah, yeah. For today macam a few things benda ni, and then a few careless mistake yang buat. Once in a while, one at a time mesti ada. That is the thing that you need to reduce during your final exam. Okay, if there is no further question, without further ado, I want to proceed with statement of cash flows. Yeah, so tak ada break lah, break nanti in between yang statement of cash flows. So I know that you have done a few, you already aware about the formatting in terms of statement of cash flows. Again, in the statement of cash flows for financial reporting, similar with your preparation of financial statement, the published financial statement, you need to apply the individual accounting standards as well, if it's applicable. For example, very simple, this one, not simple lah, maksudnya, when you deal with statement of cash flow later on, when it comes to foreign exchange, because under foreign exchange here, there will be a cash items, which is the payment made by the company. 15, 5 to 8. So you may need to take this into consideration. But the important is you will make an adjustment of non-cash item later on. So exchange gain is a non-cash item. Exchange loss is a non-cash item. So you need to make an amendment based in the statement of cash flow. So the application of accounting standard again is very important. Yeah. in order for you to resolve or complete a statement of cash flow. All right. And learning objective. On completion of this paper, you should be able to prepare statement of cash flow for single entity, so not a group in SBR paper, in accordance with relevant IFRS standard using indirect method. So this one, as far as I'm concerned, from 2000, I started teaching in 2007. You dah lahir belum? Dah kan? Ke belum? 2007, and then I reviewed exam, of course sebelum 2007 lagi, around 2000 macam tu. All question dekat ACCA will be indirect method. For in your syllabus as well, dia dah highlight that only indirect method will be tested. But we have two, indirect and direct method. Yes, but direct method maybe it is too sikit sangat items tu. Workings dia boleh tahan juga tapi items in the presentation sikit. So they decided just to go for indirect method. Okay. And then for cash flow, it will related to interpretation of financial statement as well. And because they need to look at whether how well the company managed its cash in acquisition of asset, in generating cash from operating from revenue, or cash from issuance of share. So you will interpret financial statement, yeah, and give advice from perspective of different stakeholder. Okay. And then you will also interpret financial statement with other financial information to assess the performance and financial position of an entity. So in this case, you will link with the statement of financial position, and the last you will compare with the statement of profit or loss and OCI. For example, the company have huge revenue, for example, 1 billion for that particular year, but they only can get cash of, let's say, 30% from the 1 billion sales, for example. So it may not be good, and then how to improve the performance. Untuk interpretation question, it will be later, but kita akan habiskan jugalah ya for this, under this topic. So they did mention that you have statement of cash flow in your previous study, yeah, but in more depth for calculation in plus the interpretation and also plus the individual accounting standard like I mentioned just now. So it is still similar straight away to the statement. Asalnya tak buang masalah dekat sini. Introduction, objective, I will go into that. Benefits of the information, definition, yes, yeah, just for a quick review. Statement of cash flows will be the objective, will be the cash flow movement, main objective, yeah, to assess or to look at the cash flow movement for the year. So meaning that it is important for you to understand the cash first and also cash equivalent under this topic. So cash is straightforward. It will be cash on hand and demand deposits, so cash at bank as well, and cash equivalent. All right. Cash equivalent, the keyword, it will be readily convertible into known amount of cash, meaning that if they want to convert into cash immediately, they can do that. Normally, it deals with the short-term investment and highly liquid investment. Okay. In the industry, you have some sort of a rule of thumb, meaning that kalau misalnya dia less than 3 months normally, yeah, they consider as cash equivalent. But in the exam, they won't give you the timeline. Yeah, unless they give you the timeline, and then they also give you an indication that this will be classified as cash equivalent. Okay. Then you will have cash flows. Like I said, the cash movement, inflow and outflows. You have 3 types of activities, still similar. Okay. because operating activity will be from the core business of the company, principal revenue producing activities, right? And then you have investing activity, which is for the acquisition or disposal of long-term asset and also income from investment. And you have financing activities that will be result in change in the size of composition and normally will be related to equity and borrowing. Okay, so this is more on the preparation later on. So it will long explanation on cash and cash equivalent. Okay, I'm not going to go into this. So they did mention, like I've said just now, so you have indirect and direct method. You will only be examining the indirect method in your exam. So even though it is from the previous knowledge, so we're going to look at one question. This is sample format. Sometimes, memang betul, it is an assumed knowledge, meaning that you have done it on in your FFA and you pass your FFA paper, but sometimes it has been like 1 year, 2 years, or 1 semester, and you have other subjects, so we need to look back on the basic process until the end. So I did explain on the operating activities, investing activity, and financing activities. I'm not going into detail. So this is the formatting. You will start from operating activities, and you will do an adjustment from profit before tax. So adjustment for, you are going to exclude non-cash item and non-operating item for indirect method. Okay. Very simple understanding. If you exclude non-cash item, what will be left in this account? It will tinggal dia cash je lah. And then if you exclude non-operating, so operating activity je yang tinggal in the statement of cash flow. So you meet your objective, you will get cash from operating activities. For example, depreciation is a non-cash item, amortization is a non-cash. To exclude them, you need to add back because it is an expenses in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. So this is expenses in profit or loss. To make an adjustment, you need to add back. If there is a gain, like this one, profit, meaning that it is a credit entry in the profit or loss. So this one, for you to exclude, you need to deduct from the profit before tax. Similar to investment income and interest expense in the profit or loss, and you need to add back to make an adjustment. Okay, so that will be the first thing that you need to look at. And the second part, for sure, operating activities, for your revenue, for example. So revenue, which is when it is paid, then cash is received, it is already in the cash and cash equivalent. For unpaid revenue, so accrued revenue, unpaid revenue, then you will have trade receivable and other receivable balance, meaning that this receivable also related to your operating activities. So you need to look at that balance in order to complete the cash flow movement. So it was like total revenue, you have 1,000 and then 500 is not paid. And then bila you tolak 500, automatic only 500 left for your cash collection from the revenue. Okay. And then later on, you may get confused, either it is a negative or positive figure. So I'm going to do that later. Other than revenue, cost of sale also in your statement of profit or loss and also related to your operating activities. And inventories and trade payables is related to your cost of sale account. Yeah, this is related to the revenue account, and those two are related to cost of sales. So the changes, movement in the statement of financial position about this balance is also important for you to take into consideration. Okay, very simple understanding to do this working. Memang kat sini je lah. For example, 1050, I just throw the figure 2050 minus 1000. For example, this is from year 6. This is year 7. So it is a positive figure. A decrease in inventory is betul. Yeah. So, but why this decrease in inventory is a positive figure in the statement of cash flow? So itu yang you kena tahu. Anyone yang masih ingat lagi? Kenapa dia positive figure, decrease in inventory dekat statement of cash flow? Elias, you want to try?
Sebab dia decrease.
Yes, sebab dia decrease, betul. And what will be the effect of that decrease in the statement of cash flow, in the cash movement?
Increase in cash flow.
Increase in cash flow, yes, correct. When inventory decrease, meaning that the company managed to sell more inventory from beginning to the end of accounting period. So that's why it is a positive figure, and that's why it is a positive cash flow. Okay, so that would be the answer for inventory, meaning that if it's an increase in inventory, for example, negative figure, which is increase in inventory, why it is negative? Because the company did manage to sell more inventory as compared to the beginning balance. Okay, so meaning that we sell more as compared to the beginning balance, so that's why it is decreasing inventory. Other than that, yeah, brought down 2050 and then carry down 1000. So you do this working, very simple working, and then the result from this will be in the statement of cash flow. The cash flow in the statement, it will be decrease of 1050. So you know that the result will be decreased. In your case, it is not going to be a big issue because you only have two items, brought down and carried down balance. So there will be no other items in between in the future. And then increase in trade and other receivable. So why it is increase in trade receivable, for example, from increase from 500 to 1000 is a negative figure. Yes, decrease in cash flow, but why decrease in cash flow? Yes, because we have yet to collect cash from the customer. That's why we have more sales, but the collection of customer is reducing. Yeah, that's why we have more receivable balance at the year end as compared to the beginning of the year. So this is year 6, this is year 7, right? So by right, kita boleh formulate dia benda ni. For example, kalau kita ingat satu je, contohlah kalau you ingat increase in current asset, ya, yang ini je satu, increase in current asset negative. Dah tentu decrease in current asset positive, cash flow. And then when it comes to current liability, increase in current liability dah tentu contra with the current asset, dia akan jadi positive, and then reduce in current liability will be negative figure. So bila you ingat satu je, you can resolve all items, and you don't have to worry because explanation may not needed in your case. So you just biarkan macam tu je lah. Alright. So even though it is simple, but I know that somehow Because when we mark papers kan, when we mark your answer, mesti ada yang represent terbalik. Contohnya increase, decrease in inventory itu buat negatif. Sebab decrease mungkin fokus on decrease, bukan fokus on inventory that been sold more as compared to beginning of the year. So sebab tu dia buat negatif. Dan salah lah. Tak ada markah kat situ. Alright, and then interest, you tengok bila ada cash generated from operation, you have interest paid and income tax paid. Yeah. Interest paid ni principal dia dekat financing, cuma interest dia dekat operating. Because normally people will ask you how you finance your business. Is it you finance through your borrowings or you finance based on the stakeholders or shareholder contribution? So in this case, it's from borrowings, you finance the operation. So this to support the operation of the business. And that's why they masih lagi dekat operating activity. So income tax paid, normally government will tax company based on its operating income. Kan dia ada profit, walaupun dia start dengan profit before tax, so dia akan buat adjustment, yeah, which is not related to operating. Sometimes they exclude, they give exemption, for example. So masih lagi related to the operating activities. So dia, sebab tu dia asingkan sikit cash generated from operation, lepas tu baru ada interest paid and income tax paid. Okay, start je interest paid and income tax paid, ke bawah semuanya cash flow movement. Yang ini je you kena buat indicator increase decrease similar to current asset and current liability. After interest paid, you kena cari balancing figure for cash transaction. Okay. Common mistake, macam saya cakap, common mistake students in the overall cash flow mesti positive negative lah, sebab you will not get the marks if it's a negative figure then you buat positive, because it is important in terms of the presentation. Cash flow movement kan, kalau negative outflow, kalau it is an outflow lah negative. If it's inflow, then kena positive figure. So yang tu tak ada kompromi. Alright, so you need to be very careful on positive and negative figure. Cash flow from investing activities. Investing, this is your double entry. You're working for property, plant, equipment, intangible asset later on. So there will be a disposal of equipment, from the sale of equipment, and you have interest income and dividend income. So also under your investing activities. Not so much, tapi ada juga lah yang buat proceed from the sale equipment, disposal of equipment, ada juga lah few student buat negative figure. Tapi itu bukan sebenarnya, sebab the gain tu positif lah, cuma proceed from the sale, gain or loss tu either positive, negative dekat profit or loss. But proceeds, when you sell item, there will be cash inflows. Itu yang penting. Okay, and cash flow from financing activity. Okay, issuance of share ni biasa, long term borrowings pun sama. Payment of lease liability, and normally this is just a principal amount. Yes, but interest will be recorded under this one. Yeah, operating activities. So principal in the financing activities. Dividend paid ni dua tempat selalunya boleh disclose. One will be dekat financing activity and the other one dekat operating activity. Cuma accounting standard allow both, either one, but we just conclude that kita pakai satu je lah mudah, letak je dekat financing activities. So that will be a quick recap in terms of preparation, and of course the things that we need to do now is that to complete this statement altogether. Okay, dan kita ada working template yang ini. Okay dah, so kita pakai template ni je. This one. So it quite challenging in the question later on sebab tapi selalunya assets, okay, you dah boleh buat dah broke down, carry down untuk asset. And then current asset, ini buat broke down, carry down untuk current asset. So cash and cash equivalent, of course, this is your main objective. Yeah, you just need to be very careful kalau misalnya dalam soalan tu ada bank overdraft. Contohnya dekat sini ada bank overdraft. Okay, so you need to look into the detail. Kalau misalnya you confused untuk, selalunya on the right side will be brought down balance, opening balance, and the left will be carried down, and it will be consistent sebab comparative figure mesti dulu, maksudnya on the right side lah, current year on the left. Okay, and then go back to the cash and cash equivalent. So you boleh buat workings lah, yeah, in terms of opening, yeah. Selalunya you have your opening balance, opening for, and then a closing, or better of chain. This is brought down balance, this is carried down balance. Yang ini cash. Cash brought down 4, carried down 111, and then kalau ada bank overdraft, buat juga bank overdraft. So tapi bank overdraft akan negative balance lah dekat sini. Okay, so you tambahkan dulu 4 and then 111. Kalau ada marketable securities pun, ada cash and cash equivalent yang lain, so you just letak. Working ni tak adalah besar sangat bagi I, but to avoid confuse. Contohlah ada bank overdraft dekat sini kan, and then you boleh tolak dekat situ, meaning that 4 dengan 111 ni, ignore what we call that, this computation. Maksudnya broke down tu lepas tolak bank overdraft, lepas tambah cash equivalent, carry down pun sama, lepas tolak bank overdraft, lepas tambah cash equivalent, then you can straight away insert in your pro forma lah yang dekat atas kan. Dia buat solution dulu, dia buat working dulu. Oh, dia bagi you working sahaja, dia tak bagi template untuk pro forma. Tengok requirement, cash paid to acquire property, plant equipment, and prepare financing activity sahaja. Jadi tak suruh you buat semua, ya, which is kita ikut je lah yang ini, tak ada masalah. Cuma kalau ikut pro forma macam saya cakap tadi, 4 and 111 tu dekat sini, year end 111, yang kat sini 4. So sepatutnya you dah tahu lah your final answer kan. It is just that for the sake of preparation, kita follow dia punya ni dulu. Okay, now we focus on the requirement. Dia cuma nak cash paid to acquire PPE for inclusion in the investing activity. So maksudnya buat PPE je working. Alright, so I can flip atas bawah, I tak perlu buat different page lah. PPE broke down 638, carried down 7798. So as usual, kalau I miss out something, you just need the line. And second question related dengan financing activities. So then PPE dan development cost tak ada kena dengan requirement lah untuk brought down, carried down. Inventory pun sama, sebab kalau operating activity, yes. Cash pun sama. And then ordinary share, nothing to do with that. Share premium, nothing to do, but revaluation surplus, yes. Increase by 42, tapi revaluation surplus kita kena tengok items yang ada dekat OCI instead of dekat sini lah, takut yang ini net of tax. Return earnings tak ada masalah, loan notes dekat financing, deferred tax nope, trade payable nope, and the last will be gain on property. Yang ni lah saya cakap tadi. Oops. Ni gain on property revaluation ni 60. Ini masuk dekat apa ni, deferred tax punya account. Okay, so dekat sini gain on property revaluation, OCI 60. Depreciation tak dapat lagi, dan cash addition tak tahu lagi. And then kita tengok dia punya notes, depreciation PPE was 54,000 and deferred development expenditure amortized was 25,000. So dia nak PPE je. So deferred development expenditure tu kita tolak tepi lah, 54,000 je kita buat. Semua in thousand this one 54,000. Tolaklah depreciation. Okay. Proceed from the sale of equipment were 58,000. This is the proceed. Maksudnya this is cash inflow. Kalau misalnya kena buat investing activity, terus buatlah cash inflow 58,000. Giving rise to a profit of 7,000. So this is profit dekat profit or loss. No item PPE was disposed during the year. But you need to know the carrying amount lah. Very simple. Selling price tolak carrying amount equal to profit end. So dapat 7,000 profit. Selling price 58,000. So berapa dia punya ni? Dia punya carrying amount? Disposal 58,000 minus 7,000. Maksudnya kat sini ada 51,000 disposal. Okay. I tak tengok solution lah. At the same time, kalau siapa yang nak flip solution tu flip. Saya cakap lah, careless will be ni, supaya laju je kan. But if anything that you want to ni, ada yang tak sama ke apa ke, yang kita boleh resolve. Contohnya macam, of course lah, I know development expenditures, but they got nothing to do with PPE. And then finance cost dah lain, and then the company revalued its property. Company policy treat revaluation and realized profit when the asset is retired or disposed, meaning that there is no annual transfer to RE. So balance yang itu je lah. Kalau tidak, adalah ini, tapi dia got nothing to do with this account. So bila you settle this one, you dapat berapa? Anyone?
205.
205. Agree? Anyone ada argument? 205 positive Okay. So normally in the assets account like this one, PPE, you akan dapat positif sebab double entry dia mesti debit PPE kan, masa you beli 205 and credit cash. Maksudnya cash outflow lah kat sini 205. Dia tak akan debit apa ni? Dia tak akan debit cash dekat dalam ni sebab debit cash account bukan dekat dalam PPE. Itu kat dalam disposal account kan. You know that it is in a separate account. Having said this, sebenarnya you boleh tahu bila masa you careless ataupun tidak. Contohlah you dapat cash ni negative figure. Bila you dapat negative figure, takkan credit PPE debit cash dalam PPE account, which is completely wrong. Dia takkan boleh jadi macam ni. So then you need to redo again your computation. Mungkin selalunya yang I perasan, sometimes I pun terlupa buat disposal, terlupa nak letak negatif. Depreciation pun sama. So jadikan point balance kat sini jadi negatif. For example. So mesti ada benda-benda macam tu. So just to recheck your answer. So done on the first question. And second question, prepare financing activity section for inclusion in the statement of cash flow. So we need to resolve this working. Share capital, share premium, retained earnings, and loan notes. Dia susah sikit lah sebab kalau kita prepare semua, simple je kita terus buat working untuk semua kan. But this one, the second one relate dengan equity and liabilities je. You got nothing to do with the first one. Okay. For equity, normally we will combine between share capital and share premium, because the objective here, we wanted to look at the cash transaction sahaja. All right. So 280 will be the break. This one, 280 will be the brought down balance, and 360 will be the carried down balance. So 280, 360. Dekat bawah ni ya, tak nanti. Itu saya pindah. Dan cash. Cash paid, received, the balancing figure, and then carried down balance 360. So tak perlu tengok yang tu lah. So settle this one, revaluation surplus tak termasuk, retained earnings 570,599. Okay, then you need to look at the additional information. But for retained earnings, you kena tengok juga statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Anything got to do with equity, liability. Liability kan, satu lagi kita tak buat. This one. Deferred tax tak termasuk ni. 4% loan note, 100 and 250. Dan selalu loan note dia pakai principal value je. Tak pernah saya tengok lagi dia buat the amortized cost computation tapi tak apa, kita tengok ini. Proceed from the sale equipment, dah. Finance cost represent interest paid on the loan notes. Company revalued property. Habis dah. So profit or loss for the year kat sini 70. Profit for the year 70. Retained earnings computation, profit for the year 70. Dia tak ada bonus issue. Kalau ada bonus issue, kena masukkan bonus issue dekat sini. Sebab bonus issue will be done cash consideration. Right issue tak apa. Right issue memang dia kena beli walaupun it lower than the market price, but still ada cash inflow dekat situ. Tapi bonus issue kena tulis juga, ataupun transfer to RE, transfer from or to RE, transfer from or to retained earnings. So maksudnya positive and negative figure for retained earnings. Okay. So the rest kalau tak ada, memang yang ini 280, 360, memang 80 ni ya adalah cash receive lah, sebab dia ni share capital account kan, maksudnya this one on the credit side, the negative balance kan, maksudnya the balance brought down the negative figure. So on the credit side ni of the accounts equity, so maksudnya debit cash. So credit 80 ni maksud debit cash. So cash inflow 80. So credit share capital lah, share capital, share premium ni 80. Inilah the 80 yang dekat atas tu. So itu adalah cash inflow. So jangan confuse. Sebab apa? Sometimes they get confused. Yang ni inflow ke outflow. Selain daripada positive or negative figure, you kena tengok type of account juga. Macam saya cakap PPE tadi. Dia takkan ada negative figure. Takkan dalam account PPE ada debit cash, which is not logical at all. Ya, dan sama juga dengan issuance of share. Takkan negative figure, takkan issuance of share tapi you bagi duit dekat orang, which is not logical juga. So maksudnya kalau issuance of share mesti cash inflow. Issuance of share tak akan jadi cash outflow. Account tax sahaja, macam ni tax kan? Tax je yang boleh jadi tax tax payment, tax expense dengan tax recoverable ataupun tax asset. Tax je boleh ada reimbursement. Okay, and then kalau retained earnings, balancing figure dia tak akan jadi cash paid ataupun ni, dia adalah dividend paid. Bila tengok 599 sorry 570 plus 70 minus 599, so 41. Nampak tak? 41 kalau dia negatif, dia ada debit side. Kenapa? Sebab dia credit cash. Credit cash untuk dividend. Nah, ini adalah dividend paid. So they utilize retained earnings to pay dividend. Any questions so far up to this point? Good. Sonia. Betul ya? Loan notes selalunya loan notes memang principal amount je, dia tak masuk lah apa yang ada dalam ni. 100 to 50 kan? Maksudnya memang ni balance 150 je. So maksudnya this one dia credit kan? Credit dekat loan, debit cash. 150. Itu je lah. Sebab dia tak masukkan the interest semua dalam account loan note. Cuma principal saja. So this is it. And then of course in the exam question they can ask you to prepare like kenapa dia buat breakdown macam ni? Sebab you have done all the full statement previously kan? In your previous paper dah buat full cash flow. Yang ni you made the question may ask you on the breakdown of the cash flow related to the contohnya section B kan, multiple task question tu, objective task question, multiple task question, yeah. So similar to that one. Okay, nanti of course homework lah untuk few questions. Itu last kali saya akan tunjuk, saya akan buat. Kita habiskan sikit lah sebab interpretation ni, this is more on discussion which I'm not going to like detail out every single statement yang ada dekat sini lah. Ya, cuma lebih kepada question practice tu nanti you akan buat. Ya. Interpretation of statement cash flow. So ini the understanding is that, for example, operating cash flow normally, for operating selalunya mesti positive balance, because operating cash flow, if it's negative balance, meaning that the company are not good in terms of collecting cash from its core business, sebab itu yang penting, right? And then this is general view, general view of the whole statement of cash flow for sure, increase or decrease tu. Maksudnya you kena tengok cash flow movement overall, if it's applicable. And then tengok in detail, masuk detail sikit operating, positive balance. And then investing. Investing normally negative balance, but it doesn't mean that it is not good, because a company, if they want to grow, if they want to maintain the business, they need to replace the old asset. They need to add, what we call that, to make further investment, for example. So those investment will require a huge amount of cash. But normally in the investing activity will be a negative cash flow. But it doesn't mean that the company is not in good performance or not in good condition, because they are going to use the assets from investing activity to generate more income in the future to support its operation. For example, investing in new machinery, to produce new product, for example. So interpretation of statement of cash flow, somehow we need to be flexible a little bit on how for you to respond the information from the question. What will be the objective of the company? Apa company tu nak buat, for example, and it will relate to your interpretation of statement of cash flows. Okay, tapi selalu dalam FR masih lagi direct interpretation, increase or decrease, and what contribution for that increase. For example, for example, investing activity, negative balance. So what will be the reason for this negative balance? Because acquisition of asset, the company want to grow its business. Cukup lah tu untuk comment, if you need to comment later on. Okay. Examiner report penting. Consistently stated that students do not perform well in the section C interpretation question. Not addressing requirement or not using information in the scenario to explain ratios calculated and changes in the financial statement. Okay, and the point extends to interpretation of the student of cash flow. You must understand what each section in the statement of cash flow represent. But making generic statement about, for example, what the cash flow from operating activity in the section shows and will not score credit in the exam. Meaning that somewhere this is general view, meaning that this is from the examiner. So you are not addressing. So I cakap the respond, what will be the requirement and what will be the content from the case scenario. Okay, so you need to respond from that, and you need to look at the changes in, if it's ratio, if it's information, you need to look at the changes in that information, and you also need to comment what will be the changes, the contributing factor. Apa sebab increase in operating activity, for example, or reduce in operating activity. Okay, so the three main areas ni dekat sini lah. So like I mentioned, ideally positive. Okay. And then healthy business will expect to pay interest and tax charge from the cash generated from operation. Maksudnya, you jangan ingat tax asset, tax recoverable tu, no, tax asset bagus. Sebab tax asset tu sebenarnya from tax credit. Tax credit tu from business loss. So company tu just not good in terms of the performance. Alright, and then operating activity penting untuk tengok free cash flow. Because free cash flow ni contohnya, kalau misalnya you ada operating activity 1,000, tapi you punya investing activity 1,300, which is not good. You tak ada free cash flow. You still can survive, but it's not good. Tapi kalau misalnya you ada operating activity, let's say 1,700, so you have 500,000 free cash flow. So free cash flow ni lepas you tolak capital expenditure, purchase PPE equipment or to pay dividend. This is also important to look at the performance of the company, which is they don't invest more than it's generate for that particular year. But the company still can make borrowings, for example, kan? Boleh lagi. Dia ada factor. Yang ini memang perlukan you punya further reading and understanding. Okay, because oftenly when it comes to ratio question, je student dah macam tak nak jawab sangat semua. No, you cannot do that. Ataupun points tak cukup. So nanti bila masuk ratio, I will highlight again on how I'm going to deliver your points and how to get even 1 mark from your explanation. Itu penting. Okay. So other factor, increase in trade receivable. Mana yang negative implication tu, you tahu which is not good. Increase trade receivable because you are not, maybe because of the policy of the company, they extend the credit terms. So basically, the client need to pay within 30 days, but you extend for 60 days, for example. And of course, client, they will wait for not the last minute, the optimum times untuk bayar dia punya hutang. So dia akan ambil the extended period sebab tak ada penalty kan. So that's why the increase in trade receivable may occur. Semua tu increase in inventories, or it may be reduced inventories. Like I said just now, they may need to sell more inventory. So semua ni kena tengok. In trade payable is a positive because you are the one who delay the payment to the client. Investing activity, business seeking growth, there will be net use reflect the amount of spend on. So in this case, if the business lack of cash, they may what we call that resort to selling its PPE in order to generate short-term cash inflow. This is different because they are the relation lah. Bila tengok profit low, cash low, and then suddenly they generate more cash in the investing activity. Actually, the company is what we call that is disposing. Dia in the process of downsizing lah dekat sini, bukan growth. So that is not in good shape. The company is not in good performance. Kalau they generate more cash by selling the asset, kalau generate more cash from operation, bagus. Kalau generate more cash in terms of what we call it now, selling an asset, which is not good. Selling especially the non-current asset. Financing activities. So this is two main area will be the equity and borrowing. Okay. So they will receive loan from the bank. It doesn't mean that the company with huge amount of borrowings is not good. Even Apple, 90 billion, 90 trillion, I can't remember, when they have 90 billion cash, they still make a borrowing. So cash will be the collateral reserve for the company, right? And then they still enable a huge amount of borrowing, meaning that the company still enable to pay its borrowing on time. So nanti kena tengok dengan ratio yang lain. Okay, so boleh tengok composition juga, the financing activities ni is more on the contribution from the shareholder atau contribution or from the financing activities. Okay. Relationship between profit and cash. So healthy company, good profit with good amount of cash. Let's say even though you have a good profit, but you did manage to collect sufficient amount of cash, then you will have a liquidity issue. You're going to have problems in paying your client. So the policy of the company is very important here. Okay. Important to appreciate that it's wrong to try to assess health of reporting entities solely on a single indicator. Yeah. The comparison should not just between cash flow and profit, but also between cash flow over a period of time. Ini biasalah from year to year, 3 to 5 years. Yeah, ini data the data from year to year for comparison. Cash is not synonymous with profit and annual basis. Cuma yang I cakap tadi tu still relevant lah, high profit but cannot generate cash. But the explanation yang ni will be more comprehensive, because they use the previous data as well. Okay. I'm not going to read them all. You can read, you boleh baca lah yang itu. Sebab it's very important untuk respond to the question. This one, using the information above, comment on the change in the financial position of Teba company during the year ended 30th September year 5. You are not required to calculate any ratios. So from the data itself, yeah. So you need to look at one by one. Year 4 and year 5 will be a tremendous significant reduce in the property, plant and equipment. Is it due to the depreciation? Is it due to the revaluation loss? Is it due to the disposal of assets? So this one you need to reveal from the information given, right? So, but this is important for you to compare, all right, in terms of the company performance. Inventory, increase in inventory, so did manage to sell the asset. Trade receivable also increased, so the policy, maybe they extend the period, they extend the credit terms to the customer. Yeah, accrued income, insurance claim. So what will be the reason for this insurance claim? But they still have an increase in insurance claim. Is it from the damage? Is it from the negligence from the employee? Internal controls not strong, macam-macam. Yeah, so you need to look at the sample answer nanti, just to give an idea to all of you. So cash and cash equivalent, dia bila nil kat sini selalu dia overdraft kat bawah. Selalu je lah ni overdraft. Ya, dia nil dekat previous year tapi dia overdraft. But they improve cash and cash equivalent. So maksudnya, is it improve daripada overdraft ni? Is it because of the sale and asset? Ataupun memang performance of the company is good? Cuba tengok retain earnings. So retain earning increase tremendously. Adakah disebab revaluation? Adakah disebab gain on disposal? Semua boleh relate. Dan tengok pula profit for the year. Yeah, profit for the year increase 100 je. Yeah. Interest expense, ada interest receivable, income tax credit. So maksudnya dia masih lagi ada dia guna tax credit based on the business loss from the previous year. So benda-benda macam tu you can reveal. Lease liability not so much, yeah. And then dia buat borrowings, and then dia ada hilang pula borrowing. Is it dia replace the borrowing ni kan? Dia buat borrowing baru untuk settle the old borrowings. Deferred tax reduce liability, yeah. Government grant increase for the government. But okay, in the exam, you need to make sure that you look at the significant information. You need to start from now to look at the what information that you are going to comment. Sebab kalau you tengok semua, contohnya PPE selalunya memang penting lah kalau general question. Property, plant and equipment memang penting. You may, kalau dia terlalu tinggi kan, mungkin you boleh consider, tapi you boleh skip juga inventory, trade receivable. Tapi cash memang penting. Contohlah, it is an 8-mark question, you have around 8 plus 4 for 12 minutes. Yeah, and then you want to comment all. You're not going to have enough time. So let's say you only can come up with 6 points, yeah, and then inshallah you will get around 6 to 7 marks if your answer is relevant. So you need to practice yourself from now on how to identify information in order for you to explain. Sebab ini belum lagi baca the additional information. Banyak kan? Dia bagi lagi statement of cash flow, depreciation, besar juga depreciation ya. No, ni profit on disposal. Terlalu tinggi. So maksudnya the cash amount ni are more generate to the generate from the disposal of asset daripada negatif to positif. Boleh lah. Okay. Then baca additional information. Tabah sold its factory for its fair value 12 million. The transaction made the criteria recognized as a sale FRS 15. NCA held for sale. Under the term of the sale, Tabah will immediately lease back the factory over 10 years. The accountant of Tabah company has de-recognized the factory and has recorded the gain or sale on profit or loss. They have not accounted for the lease. Some of the proceeds were used to make a loan repayment which was overdue. Ini dah macam recognize as sale. So I tak nak argue whether they have applied FRS 15 correct or not. No, the sale and its back kan. Sebab bila recognize, so bila lease back, you kena recognize only the portion of the lease. Ya, cuma kita tak nak argue further lah. In this case, they are more on selling of the property to generate cash. Yeah, but they still use the property for the period of 10 years. Yeah, for the requirement, you still can comment, yeah, whether they have comment on the change in the financial position. Yeah, you still can consider that whether the company bila tengok kat sini, ya, dia tak ada ROU asset, kita bukan suruh dia betulkan, tapi kita suruh dia consider, ya, ROU asset tak ada. Sebab bila dia lease back for 10 years. That one will be relevant point, insyaAllah. Okay. And then some proceeds were used to make a loan repayment which was overdue. So this is not good in terms of the company punya practice because they are not using the cash from operating to pay loan. They use the disposal to make a loan repayment. Plan acquired under lease contract. Okay, under this, later on, ya, you kena buat you punya planning tau. Contohlah, kalau 8 marks, macam yang buat tadi, sale and lease back. So question dia ROU asset. So this is your planning. Cukup yang ini. And then you buat full statement based on this one. So masa ni barulah you draft ataupun you make a full statement. The company disposed a factory and lease back for 10 years. Okay, so the company should recognize right of use asset. Ni example, which was not appear in the statement of financial position. Ni you dah dapat satu markah. Financial position. So you question the company. Simple je yang ni kan. And then your typing memang kena laju. Itu biasalah ya. The company dispose factory. Ingat, you punya planning ni je. You tulis dekat you punya word processor tu. Sale and lease back, ROU asset. Tapi when it come to your writing, you tulis penuh lah. That's why you need to come up with your planning first. sale macam ni kan, contohnya apa-apa yang trigger dia punya profit on PPE dah relate dah dekat sini. Kat bawah rupanya ada, they have not accounted for the lease, some of the proceeds were used to make loan repayment which was overdue. So benda-benda yang ini kenalah buat ROU asset. PPE include plant acquired under lease contract entered into during the year which gave right of use asset 1.5 million. Initial measurement of right of use asset was equal to the present value of future lease payment on commencements of the lease. So maksudnya ini cerita pasal again leases lah, untuk lease liability. Ya. Maksudnya the company dispose asset and then the rest to replace asset tu dia banyak dia hutang lah, dia banyak pakai lease. Boleh, kena boleh buat juga calculation sebab ada kawan yang tanya no need calculation ke sir? Perlu. Ya. Kalau misalnya contoh kalau ada increase tapi tak perlu ratio kalau increase by 20% tu boleh, dia bukan ratio, dia adalah maksudnya increase by 5,000 for example, boleh support dengan calculation. Yang they don't want you to calculate the ratio, bukannya tak boleh buat calculation. Boleh. Initial measurement, so tengok pula dekat sini. Dia punya lease liability. Increase and then increase lease liability. Maksudnya betul lah dia ada lease asset. But I cannot see what is wrong with the lease asset. Kita cuma bagi tahu yang the company dispose the asset ataupun sell the asset, but at the same time they need to replace the asset to maintain the business. Cuma dia tak bolehlah beli, dia berhutang. So duit yang dijual tu dia dapat duit lah cash, and then to replace the asset dia hutang. They enter into lease agreement, yeah, lease liability to replace asset. Sold or asset disposed. Next, the company entered into significant contract with supermarket chain in August year 5. The supermarket chain purchased a large quantity of goods during September on extended credit terms. The supermarket chain is expected to place another large order in October year 5, and Taba began to store inventory to meet the demand. So somehow this is very good. Ni cuma dua komen lah, increase in credit term ni, extended credit term, so they may increase the receivable ni collection. Okay, and then this one will increase revenue. Tapi in year 5, in October year 5, maksudnya during next accounting period or next year. So dia tak improve on the current year, but with the hoping that next year when the customer purchase the item and will increase the revenue. So benda-benda macam tu. But the last ni, Taba received letter from supplier, it will cease supply of outstanding invoice are not settled on a timely basis. Ini isu besar juga ni, because how they going to meet the demand of the customer if they don't get the items or materials from the supplier. Okay. So what we need to do is that walaupun dia ada statement yang panjang macam ni, yes. Untuk buat statement ni dia takkan, kalau 8 markah dia takkan buat 12 minit, and there will be long period of time. Apa yang I nak you buat, it will be your homework untuk kita buat sikit, ya. Kita analyze dulu apa yang information given ni, the statement cash flow reveal healthy overall increase in cash 1.4 million. However, Taba company has net cash flow. Maksudnya dia comment on overall performance. So dekat tepi tu. So to survive and thrive, business must generate cash from operation. Nah, ini benda-benda you tak perlu mention sangat sebenarnya. But Taba use cash in operation totaling 2.78 million despite reporting an operating profit of 270 million. The main reason, maksudnya ini untuk operating dulu. Operating tapi masih lagi overall operating. Ni overall cash flow. And second, overall operating. Reason dia apa? Baru detail out. Next point. Reason for increase in operation is due to the, macam kita cakap tadi, this disposal. Ni point yang lain. Maksudnya setiap I buat ni, you comment ni satu markah, you comment overall satu markah. Contributing factor untuk overall increase ni ada satu markah. And then yang ini, sale and leaseback is not accounted properly. So sale and leaseback. Comment on sale and leaseback. So ni lagi markah yang lain. See? So if you have this kind of answer, in your books ataupun from the examiner answer, practice revision kit on comment on discussion question like this, when you need to explain it, you need to make the answer as your own answer. You need to rewrite them. Of course, the best practice is that you try to produce your answer on your own and then you will compare. But sometimes for a start, untuk first few questions, macam I said 2-3 soalan, it's fine. It is fine to look at the answer, but you need to rewrite the answer. You can take out the key points from the answer. Okay, and then bagi I 10 points, 8 to 10 points is good enough. Tak perlulah sampai macam ni, dia terlalu banyak kan. Bukan I cakap dia tak relevan, dia sangat-sangat relevan, but this is not expected for you to deliver in your final exam later on. Bukan yang macam ni you expected to deliver. You cuma yang macam I tulis tadi itulah. Sikit, but it represent points, maksudnya relevant points for you to deliver. So the third paragraph, they highlight on the, were it not for the disposal proceed 12 million, Taba would reporting 10.6 million net decrease in cash. Maksudnya dia bagi, if it's, for example, implication if no disposal. Sebab banyak ni 12 million kan cash from the disposal. So 10.6 decrease in cash instead of 1.4 million lah. Instead of 1.4 million increase. Tapi sebenarnya kalau tak ada disposal tu 10.6 decrease. And then they sell the factory tapi they lease back lah untuk continue for the operation, tu tak ada masalah lah. So ni another points. Despite downturn in trade, working capital balance have increased in the year. Reason will be the company in the longer term, macam kita cakap tadi, receivable inventory both increase but appear to be new contract with the supermarket. Ini clear lah tadi. Yeah, the new contract about the increase in inventory and increase in receivables. But dia nak ready dengan new contract. This is positive statement. Okay. Dia boleh generate future profit and positive cash flow. Right. So next statement, macam cakap kalau nak detail out semuanya macam terlalu panjang so kita ambil key points sahaja. Income tax paid 1.35 million to the previous period is high, suggests that Tabah fall from profitability as swift and steep. It's important to note that the company will expect cash flow operations to cover. Itu ke income tax tadi? Nampak macam 1350. Tapi ni income tax credit. Ini je macam nak tengok konsistensi antara income tax paid current year lah. Current year profit sebab previous year will be loss lah kalau ada income tax credit. So payment untuk cash dia tak cukup untuk meet the interest and tax payment. Yeah. For me, ayat ni macam there has been good signs though. Saya tak perlulah you as a student pakai yang itu. Pakai yang direct sahaja. Investment in non-current asset has continued with both cash purchases and right of use asset. Macam kita tadi lack of cash. So maksudnya lease asset because of lack of cash, but still can produce income, economic benefit. Masih lagi boleh. Yeah, even though hutang, but you still can generate income. Tak ada masalah. Right? And then kita tengok conclusion. The rest you will read them. Tabah recovery may depend on whether the circumstances, the slump in profit can be addressed, company able to generate an operating cash inflow in the near future. So maksudnya the new contract can contribute something lah, or they need to find another type of customer to increase in sales. So benda-benda macam ni. This one, I suggest you not even to read this, but you need to rewrite this. And this one will be your homework. Rewrite the answer. Rewrite maksudnya based on your own words, own writings, your own words. Bukan maksud I rewrite, you ambil semua ni type balik no. Apa yang you buat macam ni, key point. Trust me, it will help you in revising ataupun to increase your performance, ability to generate an idea and to write with other question as well. Untuk ratio analysis nanti pun. So I need to look into this as well. Yeah. Untuk how many points tu, it depends. Maksudnya 8 points good enough lah. Yeah. Only 8 points cukup. Nanti 5 points sikit sangat. 8 points will be good enough. So itu first homework. Saya akan buat you punya folder. You jangan drag semua ni kan. Copy paste lepas tu summary. Kan ada summary. Fikir yang tak elok je untuk student yang tak baik. You all mesti buat betul-betul. Activity 2, it was like macam similar. So ini you punya homework juga lah. Yeah. I akan tengok when we come back on Tuesday, I will look at the sample answer. So kita tengok satu-satu. How you generate your idea. Okay. Simpan homework. Lama cuti lagi kan? Maksudnya ada Jumaat, Sabtu, Ahad, Isnin. 4 hari lagi. Habiskan sikit lagi. Ada cash flow ratio, advantages, disadvantages tu je sikit lagi. And then we are good to go untuk sambung next week. Ya. Ingat the exercise and practice revision kit nanti kita tengok. And cash flow ratio actually it's not that popular as compared to the normal ratio, but we still need to look at just in case examiner want to test you. Even though it is only like how many formula given? Satu je formula given here, right? The net cash inflow over total debt. Yeah. So this is just to know that how your cash flow can meet the total debt if it's necessary to settle them in the future. So net cash inflow from operating from its operation and total debt, short-term and long-term debt payable. So nak tengok dia punya proportion as a percentage. So they need to earning enough cash from operation to meet its foreseeable debt for the future commitment. So this is the objective. And this is the illustration. Calculate AMA cash flow ratio. State your answer to 1 decimal place. So they have 48,000 cash flow, and then they have total debt of 502. So they will be 9.6% from the total debt. And of course, it is not that high, but that will be cash generated from the debts or financing activities. Okay, so again, dia masih kena ada comparison, industry benchmark. Kita tak tahu company ni only one figure is not sufficient. So it need to be compared with other information as well. For example, company 9.6%, tapi average industry will be 12%, for example. So maksudnya company not in good shape lah, in terms of not in good what we call that, performance in comparison with the cash flow generated from operating activities over the total debt. Okay. Advantages and disadvantages I won't go into detail. Financial reporting, SBR, dah tak buat lah. Maksudnya still important for you to read, but it was like it's not that difficult to understand. Okay, sebab cash flow is important untuk company punya liquidity. If it's a negative cash flow from year to year, it is expected that the company will stop its operation. Walaupun dia ada positive profit, but if they didn't manage to get the cash from its operation, or didn't manage to handle the cash in a proper manner, so they may have an issue. Ya, maksudnya buat project which is commitment of the project that insufficient for the cash flow of the company. So those are the things that give impact on the future, on the cash flow and also the future cash flow. Okay, so this is important for the company to handle. Not the company, individual macam kita juga kan. If we make a commitment that we know that we're not going to meet the commitment in the future, then it's going to be an issue. So itu benda-benda yang applicable to the whole company as well. So advantages of the company, they look at the survival of the company, long-term, short-term, how well the company generate the cash flow. So disadvantages very few dekat sini. This is not an accrual accounting lah. Yeah, cash flow. So they only rely on the historical information. So kita prepare cash flow based on historical information. Apa fair value, estimated amount, so on and so forth, we will exclude them. Kan? Kalau misalnya non-cash tu, for For example, we have fair value increase on investment property. We know that if fair value increase investment property in terms of rental income for that property, for example, is going to continue to contribute more cash. Tapi kita exclude. Sebab apa? Kita hanya pakai historical data dan kita pakai cash basis. Masih ada disadvantage dan masih ada keperluan or we still need to refer to the profit or loss statement and statement of financial position as well, other than the cash flow. All right. So as I said, walaupun I reserve 3 hours, if we can manage to finish up to 2 hours, then we are good to go. Cukup, I rasa good enough untuk online class for these 4 days. Okay, and as I said, hopefully you can start your momentum to study towards your final exam, because next week je kita akan tengok your exercise yang akan bagi hari ini. Terus Rabu dah masuk konsol. Okay, kita akan follow yang ini. Lepas mau exam ada sikit lagi ratio analysis and ni sikit lagi chapter, tak banyak dah. And then end of January dah kita punya revision phase. Beginning of February dah mock exam. End of February dah study leave. Beginning of March dah final exam. Tengok, baru nampak nervous muka masing-masing tu. Walaupun I tak nampak betul-betul kan. I think mestilah. Nervous tu bagus, but you need to overcome. Ingat I cakap, sometimes we question the marks in the exam. Contohnya kita dapat buat tak cash flow, dapat buat tak profit or loss, publish. Tapi another question, you resolve that issue. You resolve that matters. You try to overcome that. So itu another question. So you resolve yourself first, barulah you can question on the other things. Okay. So itu standard. I think that's all for now. So insyaAllah we're going to meet next week. I dah tak ada apa-apa notification lagi lah. Only related to the recording, video recording for this session. This session recording I will give you later. And not to forget, question on cash flows. So we can look at the objective task question. This one, 282 and 286. So take note, 282, 286, objective task question. And you need to do full question as well. But I have yet to look at I can't remember which one will be cash flow. Sebab Loden, on the first part ni banyak console. And then Fresco start dengan ni. Cuba tengok. Dixon maybe final 13168. Ini banyak konsol. Masih lagi profit or loss pun sama. Yang ni lebih kepada revise. Ni. So Flamingo company. Revise extract statement of cash flow. Maksudnya yang ini lebih kepada apa ni? Which is not unadjusted lah, not based on the additional information yang bawah ni. So buat, I think 2 soalan cukup lah. Memang 2 soalan tu je ada. So Flamingo and Dixon. Okay. So I'm going to prepare the submission link as usual. InsyaAllah next week. Lah kan, in the morning. Kita akan jumpa macam biasa. But I don't know. There will be some sort of revision in my timetable. Which I cakap I need to teach for another group, SBR. I don't know whether it is a current ongoing SBR. But I think no. I think yang start January, June. So January batch will start after result kan. So belum lagi lah. So we will meet as usual, ikut existing schedule, existing timetable. So any questions so far? Di mana yang tertinggal? Tak cukup soalan cash flow ke? Ya. Macam nak lagi soalan? Tengah semangat? Cukup? Okay. Okay, if that the case, Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for your commitment for these 4 days. InsyaAllah, you will continue your commitment until your final exam. InsyaAllah untuk pass ya. Okay, kita sudahi dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah Subhanakallah wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina allazina amanu wa bis-salihati. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. I'm going to end the meeting now. Bye.